I wanted to come on here because the more I deal with families who are living through the death of a loved one, the more I realize there's a lot that we have to talk about. Please. So just take the next few minutes, maybe grab yourself a cup of tea. That's always handy when we have these conversations. So I've just done two services this week, and it made me appreciate that prior planning is the key. So, in one instance, it was an elderly person and they had an insurance. Check out insurances. I myself am, well, I just remember that my mum paid €5,000, and working in this industry, I know that simple cremation, even with a celebrant there, is not that much money. So, you know, take if you're going to talk to insurance companies, find out what is covered. Is a ceremony with a celebrant covered? Because the difference between a celebrant-led ceremony and the local vicar is we are self-employed, we are paying our taxes, and we are taking a lot of time to write our ceremonies. And because that involves meeting you, meeting the family, etc., etc. But anyway, let's move on. So obviously, in this case, the elderly deceased had had prior funeral insurance, so it was relatively easy. The family literally just had to call the number and arrange things. So that's when I step in, make sure that the funeral company is on board and arrange a time and a date and whatever the family want, and it's done. And then the other was a younger person who was at end of life and was able to talk to friends. There was no family. And this person was very blessed that they were supported, that somebody was there to listen to them. And that person was then able to find out it was literally at the end of life. They were still conscious, but they were able to express their wishes to the friend group, and the friend group were able to act accordingly, hence calling on Glynis and asking me for more information on what happens and how does it all work, etc. So I was able to help them. And in this case, in those conversations, I hear a lot of, oh, but from the person at end of life who says, oh, but I don't want a fuss. No, we don't need a ceremony. And I always ask, well, who's the ceremony for? You're not going to be there. It is a final goodbye. That's the whole beauty of ceremony, is that it puts everything into context and it allows you to have that moment, because from however you deal with the human remains of the deceased, whether it's cremation or whether it's burial, the only options in Spain, um, then it's really important that this is acknowledged. I'm sorry, but this is pretty huge. This is your loved one who you're never going to see after that moment. So it doesn't matter when you say goodbye, but my wish for you is that you please say goodbye. But I realized with the friendship group helping this person who was facing end of life and able to respond to the questions, because it became clear that they hadn't ever thought about anything prior to this moment of now being in the final, whatever the final is, because it could be days sometimes, it could be weeks or months sometimes. So, but they were able to be organized, they were able to pay because they didn't want to leave that stress for their friendship group. And then their friendship group were able to start the mourning process with the most beautiful ceremony. And they also added to the ceremony, which took place just before the cremation, but they went off and did other things, such as tree planting. When the ashes are ready to be collected, well, you can do something with those ashes. You can, in the Balearics, the law is that they have to be so many nautical miles from the coast before you scatter them at sea. Um, in your garden, I've got a friend who's got a beautiful shrine set up for some friends and family who've passed on with the urn, and it's absolutely beautiful. So, there's lots of options, but I just wanted to encourage you to find out how much does a funeral cost in Mallorca? Or if you're listening and I know you're from the UK or elsewhere in the world, how much does it cost? And if you're in America, you can body compost. You can contact Recompose, who have the most amazing facilities. I think they're in 12 states in America now, where the body actually gets composted and you get to take home a bag of soil if you want, or donate the soil of your loved one to a charity project that they have going on in the states where they are. So speak to me if you need some advice on what needs to be done. Please don't complicate your life by leaving this important issue. I've got news for you. We are all going to die. Oh my gosh, yes. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we were able to face the grieving process with less paperwork to do and less stress about things like how much does it cost? How much does a funeral cost? How does it work? Where do I go? Which funeral company do I call? So, have a think about it. And if you do need anything else, all of my information is underneath and you can contact me. Have a great day. Thank you very much.